anyway, I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life, and the way I ended up on this path was from a very tragic event. I was maybe 19, and my girlfriend at the time was killed in a car accident. And I passed the accident, and I didn't know it was her, and I kept going. And I found out shortly after that it was her. And I was living in a basement apartment. I had no money. I had no heat, no air. I had a mattress on the floor, and the apartment was infested with fleas. And I was soul searching. I was like, why is she suddenly gone and there are fleas here? I don't understand. There must be a purpose, and wouldn't it be so convenient if we could just pick up the phone and call God and ask these questions? And I started writing, and what poured out of me was an imaginary conversation with God, which was one-sided. And I finished writing it, and I looked at it, and I said to myself, and I hadn't even been doing stand-up ever. There was no club in town. I said, I'm going to do this on The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. At the time, he was the king. And I'm going to be the first woman in the history of the show to be called over to sit down. And several years later, I was the first woman in the history of the show, and only woman in the history of the show, to sit down because of that phone conversation with God that I wrote. And I started this path of stand-up, and it was successful, and it was great, but it was hard because I was trying to please everybody, and I had this secret that I was keeping, that I was gay, and I thought if people found out, they wouldn't like me, they wouldn't laugh at me. Then my career turned into, I got my own sitcom, and that was very successful, another level of success, and I thought, what if they find out I'm gay, then they'll never watch. And I finally decided that I was living with so much shame and so much fear that I just couldn't live that way anymore, and I decided to come out and make it creative, and my character would come out at the same time, and it wasn't to make a political statement, it wasn't to do anything other than to free myself up from this heaviness that I was carrying around, and I just wanted to be honest. And I thought, what's the worst that can happen? I can lose my career. I did. I lost my career. I got, the show was canceled after 6 years without even telling me. I read it in the paper. The phone didn't ring for 3 years. I had no offers, nobody wanted to touch me at all. And yet I was getting letters from kids that almost committed suicide but didn't because of what I did. And I realized that I had a purpose, and it wasn't just about me, and it wasn't about celebrity, but I felt like I was being punished, and it was a bad time. I was angry, I was sad, and then I was offered a talk show. And the people that offered me the talk show tried to sell it, and most stations didn't want to pick it up. Most people didn't want to buy it because they thought nobody would watch me. And really, when I look back on it, I wouldn't change a thing. I mean, it was so important for me to lose everything because I found out what the most important thing is to be true to yourself.
Your dreams. You've got to keep dreaming. Your better future is a dream for yourself and for your family. Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? What do you want to be? What do you want to see? Without dreams and visions, people perish. You've got to have something to go for that inspires the heart and the soul. Dreams. You've got to dream. Don't lose your dream. For yourself, for your future, for your family, the dreams of love and enterprise, and travel, and doing things, becoming something unique on your journey here. Don't lose your dreams.
I said, yes, sir. I went back to Mr. Washington and I told him, he said, don't take it personally. He said, most people are so negative, they will have to say no 7 times before they say yes. He said, go back again. So I went back again.
just been really living my dream come true, man, of just being a young black entrepreneur and just try to show the world, try to show my people that we could do it if we put the time behind it, put the work behind it. And, you know, I just feel like I'm a living testament to people. If you dream and you believe, you could accomplish anything you want to accomplish. It was a hard time, but I was pursuing my dream. You know, I didn't really have no money to eat, no money to get back and forth, but I was like, I would stay focused that I was gonna make it one day.
And he said, Les Brown, he said, if you want to do anything worthwhile in life, you've got to be hungry.